Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. We are going to be talking about all things AI and SEO and how they work together to create content that ranks on search engines like Google. My name is Stephanie Becker. I am the owner of Stephanie Becker Digital, and we are an SEO agency that focuses on blog writing, website optimization, and also content monetization. And what I mean by that is we help creators and businesses of all sizes make money from their website. So whether that's through on-site ads or selling their product or service, we help you get seen by Google and help you connect with your dream audience through the process of search engine optimization. We have fully integrated ChatGPT as an agency with great success for our business and also on behalf of our clients. And so I'm really excited to show you step by step our process for using ChatGPT in a way that aligns with our values as an agency. And that really means putting the end user first. We're able to utilize ChatGPT in a way that feels natural, but also helps us speed up our content creation process so we can create better content more quickly. And that is exactly what I'm going to be showing you today. So let's go ahead and dive in. Just gonna share my screen. Awesome. Okay. So like I said, my name is Stephanie Becker, and today we are going to be talking about all about AI and SEO and how they work together. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. So what you're going to learn today is first how our agency is using. So what you're going to be learning today, first and foremost, how our agency is utilizing ChatGPT on behalf of our clients. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm really proud of the way that we're using AI to speed up our content creation process, but making sure that we are still creating high quality content that sounds like our businesses. And so what you'll learn today is first and foremost how our agency is utilizing ChatGPT to create better, higher quality content that still sounds like us or sounds like our client. That is really important to us. And I feel like we've created a great process to keep that at the forefront of our goals. Next is what specifically we're putting into ChatGPT to get that output that sounds like us. This is both an art and a science, and I'm going to walk you through that today. And then lastly, how to avoid getting penalized by Google. This is something that is a bit risky, but with this process, this is something that is easily avoidable and not something that as an agency we are worried about at all utilizing this process. I already talked a little bit about myself, but just I'll quickly mention again, my name is Stephanie. I'm the owner of Stephanie Becker Digital. I am a content monetization expert. I love SEO. It's where I got my start at a top ranked agency here in the Phoenix area almost 8 years ago now. And I have been studying SEO ever since. So I worked with clients in the higher education space. So like Gonzaga University, Arizona State University were my clients. And it was a really exciting time to learn and be able to implement SEO strategies on these large scales, but now being able to pick apart what actually works for businesses of smaller sizes and really know what's effective is definitely my passion and my life's work. And so I'm very excited to be sharing that with you today. And I'm a mom to two. My son Charlie is 4 and my daughter Grace is 2. And so when I am not studying SEO or on calls with clients, I am usually with them. So what is the deal with ChatGPT? So if you are not familiar with ChatGPT, and I'm sure you are at this point, but just a brief history. So ChatGPT is a sophisticated AI software that almost acts as a chatbot where you can put in a request for just about anything and it will output that piece of content in whatever format you have requested. So something like a list or a blog post or an email, anything that you ask it to do, it will then, with using research that has been indexed by Google. So it scans the internet, finds the most, like the best research that it can, and then it spits out the content that is aligned with what you had asked it to do. And so it looks like this, and it gives you some examples when you create your account, because ChatGPT is totally free. There are some upgraded options I'm going to chat about in a little bit, but as you can see here on the left, there are a million ways that people are utilizing ChatGPT. Things from grocery lists and meal planning. It's asking, you could even put in something as specific as, do you have any creative ideas for a 10-year-old's birthday party? You can ask ChatGPT to do basically anything, and within these limitations. So it's telling you that occasionally it may generate incorrect information. So if incorrect information is published on other websites, then ChatGPT will pull that incorrect information and spit it out to you. And you just have to be careful about understanding what you're asking for. It's saying that it could, potentially have harmful or biased content, and it has limited knowledge of world events after 2021. So if you are writing about things that are timely within pop culture or within politics, for example, just know that it doesn't necessarily have the capability to pull extremely recent data. Its capabilities, I feel like, are honestly limited. Like there are very few scenarios where I have put something into ChatGPT and I feel like it brings back something that is completely unrelated or incorrect. I've been really happy with the quality, but today we are specifically going to be talking about how it pertains to SEO. And I just wanted to show you a quick example about how I asked it to write a 500-word blog post, and then it actually spits out the 500-word blog post. But this is what it looks like if you've never used it before. Then these buttons right here, you can actually give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and that will help ChatGPT software understand if that result was whether it was good, whether it was bad, whether it needs improvement. And then this little clipboard right here is where you would copy. So if I needed to copy and paste this into another document, that's what I would do. In short, you can ask ChatGPT anything, and I encourage you to explore how you can use ChatGPT in other areas of your life or your business. If you have an email that's like, maybe you're struggling to write, but you understand the message that you want to say, like, I want to say no to this request, but I don't know how to say it in a way that feels respectful, or I need to ask for more money in this business opportunity or this job offer. You can ask ChatGPT to help formulate that response for you. But really, as it pertains to today, we are going to be focusing on its application for SEO. I just wanted to share how excited I am about this software, and that I just encourage you to use it in different areas of your business. But today I'm going to be talking about how to utilize it for SEO. I am really utilizing ChatGPT for two different areas of our business, and that is blog posts and then titles and meta descriptions. So both of these are under the realm of SEO, but we have moved to, instead of starting a blog post from scratch every single time, and right now our agency is writing, 10 to 20 blogs per month or per week. We are utilizing ChatGPT to help us formulate the blog post, and then also the titles and the meta descriptions that go along with blog posts. So if you're not familiar with meta descriptions are that small block of text that is under your link in Google. So if you Google something and all those listings pop up, there's the title of the post, and then underneath it is a description that's usually about 150 characters. And those are meta descriptions. Those are a very important aspect of SEO, and we have been utilizing ChatGPT to help write them. So ultimately, is ChatGPT SEO friendly? And the answer is that it really depends. It can be, and the way that we use it, we feel really confident that it is. But if you are not using it correctly, or you're using it to replace the human element of your business, of course, that's not going to be SEO friendly, because good SEO is all about putting the user first. And if you are putting yourself first and you're sacrificing the quality of your work to save time, ChatGPT or any other AI tool that you're using is not going to be SEO friendly. And so this really comes down to taking into consideration Google's algorithm. Google is very clear that they want your experience embedded and fully immersed into your writing. I think gone are the days of people being able to write full websites on topics without a name or a brand. Like brandless, faceless websites used to rank so heavily because they were the only ones writing like really long form content that was research based or at least had some facts behind it. But I think as blogging and influencing has become so prevalent, nowadays we don't buy anything without reading reviews or without knowing someone who's recommended that, even if it's someone you met on the internet. And so that experience aspect of Google's algorithm, I think, is more important now than ever. And, that's not even speculation. That's what Google's saying. And so if you are utilizing ChatGPT and not putting your own personal experiences and opinions into your writing for your website, it's never going to rank. And that is just because it doesn't align with Google's algorithm. So that is just something to keep in mind, because ChatGPT is not you. It is not the expert, and it can't, there's things about not your personal life, but your personal experience that ChatGPT is just never going to know. And today I'm going to help you mitigate that so you can still align with Google's algorithm. And so, to summarize my point here, if you use ChatGPT as a tool for outlining your content and not a replacement for creating content, it's going to change your business, because you are going to be able to put out content so much faster and so much better, more effectively than you ever have before. And ultimately, your competitors, they're going to be doing one of two things. They're either not going to be using AI at all, which is crazy because they're scared or they don't know how, or they feel like they're going to get penalized, which is what I mean by scared. Like they're just not sure about how that is going to impact their writing. So they're not going to use it, or they are going to use it and they're just going to copy and paste directly from ChatGPT, and that content is never going to rank, and it's likely never going to perform because it doesn't have that personal element. And so I want to talk a little bit about how our agency is using this and how much time we're actually saving on blog post writing. Right now, my team and I were writing between 10 and 15, sometimes even up to 20 blogs per week. And each blog takes about 1 to 2 hours from idea to hitting publish. And, a lot of that time is keyword research. So everything that we do is keyword research driven, meaning that we know this specific term is being searched this many times per month. And it's not that competitive of a topic because that's what our keyword research has indicated. And so we utilize that specific keyword in a blog post about that topic. And that's how we can anticipate whether content's going to rank, because there's software out there. The tool that we love and use is called Ubersuggest. And so if you utilize Ubersuggest to figure out what key search terms are being searched, and then you write content that aligns with that research, you're more likely to rank. And that's really the whole method behind SEO. And so starting from keyword research all the way to hitting publish is about 1 to 2 hours. I would say about half this time is dedicated to optimization, uploading images. So on behalf of our clients, we not only write the blog post, but we upload it, we add images, we optimize the images, add the meta description, and 50% of that time is not anything that we could be replaced by AI at this point. And so, but we do utilize ChatGPT and AI for the actual writing portion. And right now we're saving about 45 minutes per blog post, which is a game changer for us. I mean, it is so much easier to utilize ChatGPT to help us formulate what point we're trying to make and the overall format of our blog post, because it's always easier to edit something than to start from scratch. And you know that if you have, if you have someone on your team who's writing blog posts now, if they have at least started the blog post, it's so much simpler and quicker to go in and make it feel like your own, add some caveats, add some different perspectives. And that's exactly how we use ChatGPT. It's made our process so much more streamlined and simple, and it's been a game changer for our business. This is the big question, right? Will Google penalize websites that utilize ChatGPT? The answer is no. I mean, it won't. It really just comes down to your content is not going to rank if it doesn't have your own personal experience embedded into the content, whether you use ChatGPT or not. Google is not saying that they are going to penalize websites who utilize AI. Like, that's just not going to happen. But what they're not saying is that we are also not going to rank copy and pasted content from ChatGPT. There's just not a scenario in which it's going to perform well. And so that's something that you need to keep in mind, that you're not going to be penalized. Google doesn't, give you like a slap on the wrist. They're not going to take down your website. Like, none of that stuff really happens. When we say that you're going to be penalized by Google, what's going to happen is that your content is just not going to be seen. It's not going to go anywhere, but you're not going to like get shut down. Google can't do anything to your website except for not show it in search results. So that's really what you're risking here. And with this process that I'm going to be showing you, this is not something that I'm concerned about for my clients or for even my own business. So here is the main thing that people are not doing with ChatGPT. They are not inputting the right copy in order to get output that matches what they are trying to create. So the more that you input, the better your end result is going to be. If you tell ChatGPT, write a blog post on this, you have left out so many important pieces of information that is going to allow ChatGPT to do its job better. That's the length, the tone of voice, what specific points you want it to hit. And so here's an example of how I write what I input into ChatGPT to get a quality blog post. I would even say that this example is on the short side. I have another one coming up that's even longer, but what you have noticed here is that I always specify that I want a 500 word blog post, or if I 600 word, 700 word. But it's very difficult for ChatGPT to write a 1,000-word blog post if all you're telling it is to write it on this one specific topic. The more information that you give it, the better your end result's going to be. So if I want it to be on the Ring doorbell camera in a conversational tone and in first person. So now I know that those two things are going to be right about the blog post. And then I start just diving into the points that I wanted to hit. I recently installed the Ring camera system and floodlight camera and have been so impressed with the quality. ChatGPT wouldn't know that I want this review to be positive unless I told it. And it could be a negative review. You could talk about what you don't like, what you do like. So the ability to see the exterior of my house from my phone has been so convenient. I don't think ChatGPT would be able to write that if I didn't explain that. So that's something that I wanted to add in there. The quality of the camera is great, and that's something that's really important. I can check in on my boys when they are playing with the neighbors. So now I have given ChatGPT a vital piece of information that it can utilize in the blog post. So I'm saying, check in on my boys. Now ChatGPT knows that I have kids, it knows that I have boys, and it won't write something that is conflicting to that piece of information. And so I think these small tips of pieces of information will help give you a blog post that requires significantly less editing. And so from here, what I would do is if I liked the output, you can redo it at any point. So if there was something you're like, oh crap, I meant to put this in here, you can just start over and put this in and it'll regenerate the blog post. It took about 20 seconds for it to generate this blog post, just in case you were curious about the timeline. But what I would do from here is I would copy this. I would click this little button, copy it over to either my website or to another Google Doc. And that's where I would edit it to make it sound more like me. So here is what I tell ChatGPT in right here. This is what I'm writing. I want to tell what type of content and the desired length. So if that's an email, a blog post, I typically say a blog post that's 500 words or 600 words, 700 words, in first person, and also the tone of voice. So you can say professional, casual, or you could also do a combination of the two, conversational yet professional. I do that quite a bit because I don't want it to sound crazy, but I also don't want it to be like too strongly worded. So I really like the mix of conversational and professional. And then at a minimum, 3 different details that only you as the expert would know. Make sure that you do a minimum of 3. This will really help your content stand out and sound like you, because ChatGPT will take what you're saying and incorporate it throughout the content. And so the more that you give it, the better your end result is going to be. And so that's something I highly, highly recommend. And then lastly, what is the next step for the reader? So how they can get in touch with you, what to purchase, because you're writing a blog post that's usually on behalf of your business, or if you're an influencer, you might want them to follow you on Instagram. Those are things that ChatGPT wouldn't know. And so I always like to end my blog post with a strong call to action, letting the user know what the next step is. That could be, if you liked this content, maybe you'll like these 3 blog posts, or maybe you would like to buy my product, or you can visit this page, like whatever that is. It's really nice to tell that to ChatGPT so that they can end the conclusion of the blog post with that next step for the reader. So this is the example of the very, very long-winded, detailed example of what I put into ChatGPT that gave me my best blog post yet. And I was testing out how much information it really needed. And you might think that this took me a while, but this took me, no joke, I think 5 minutes of just brain dump. Like in this description, there's probably typos. I bet there's run-on sentences. The grammar's not great. Like ChatGPT is going to fix all that. So this is just a pure brain dump. And ChatGPT gave me a great output. It wasn't even necessarily in this order. They elaborated on different things. The detail was just unmatched. And so this is the standard now, I think, for our agency of what we're inputting to get a good output. The other reason why I love that so much is because this sounds like the way I want my blog post to sound. It's not perfect. It has inconsistencies. It has spelling errors. But like I said, ChatGPT is going to fix that. But what they've been able to capture now is my voice. And if I'm writing on behalf of other people and other businesses, the voice and tone is everything. And so I know these clients and I know my own business. I know them so well that I think the one reason why people love working with me is because I'm able to capture their tone and their voice in a way that sounds like them. And that's something that I am really proud of. And I did not want to lose that with AI and utilizing ChatGPT. And so that's something that this is a way that I've been able to mitigate that, is by writing as much as I can in my client's tone of voice so that the output matches what the rest of their website is, and it requires a lot less editing on my part. Even with all of that, there are definitely times where ChatGPT misses the mark, and here's how to fix this. So I was writing on behalf of they're a party planner, event planner, and it was really funny because I said that I wanted it in a casual tone, and then this is what it spit out. Hey there, party planners and event enthusiasts. That's not wrong. There's nothing inherently wrong about this, but my client is trendy. She's young, and I know she would never write that, and she would have not liked that at all. But there are so many pieces of information within the content that was actually really great, but you almost could disregard it entirely because it had this right here, like pun intended. Like she is not that, it's not bad. It does not sound like her at all. And so instead of just scrapping this, I edited it. I took out, hey there, party planners and event enthusiasts, and I just wrote a new intro that sounded like her using details that only I would know. And then where we did step 1, step 2, step 3 about how to design a stage, I took out things like pun intended, but I left the rest of it because the rest of it was great based on the information that I put in. And actually ChatGPT did a great job of, the blog post was about how to design a stage for an event. And they did a great job at coming up with the steps. I did not give them step 1, step 2, step 3. That was something that they created themselves. And so I was really impressed with that. But just know that if it doesn't get it right the first time, this is where the human element comes into play. And so I would just recommend editing that to align with your client's tone of voice, but keep the information that you do like. And here's like a rubric of how I decide whether it needs editing or not. And almost, I would say every single blog post we get from ChatGPT, we're editing. Like, even if it's just a few things, of course, like it never hits the nail on the head. But like I mentioned earlier, it's always easier to edit something rather than starting from scratch. So does this sound like you or your client? That's the most important thing. Is this information correct? And of course, that's important too. Our clients are reading our blog post before they go live. So I know that this is going to get screened one more time. I'm reading the blog post to make sure it sounds like them and that from my opinion, that this information is correct, but the final say goes to the client. Is it easy to read? Sometimes ChatGPT will give you a giant block of text, and that giant block of text is actually not very SEO friendly. When you move this content over to your website, you want to break it out into paragraphs and into headers. So this format is very specific and very particular. It's important that your readers are able to skim your blog post rather than having to study it like they would a textbook. If it's not skimmable, someone is going to see that giant block of text and probably click away, and that will indicate to Google that your content's not high quality. So making sure that your paragraphs are set up very nicely, that it's easy to read, and that you have a keyword in each of your headers. This is something that I teach in depth in SEO school. So if that's something that you're interested in, I have a full program that teaches this step-by-step process. But having the format be on point is very important from an SEO perspective. And then lastly, does the reader know what the next step is? This is another good SEO tip, because the longer you can keep someone on your website, that sends a signal to Google that people like what they're reading. So you want to keep people engaged as long as you can, and giving them the next step once they finish reading that blog. Or maybe that's, at the beginning or somewhere in the middle where you're like, hey, if you like this content, can I recommend this other piece of content I've created? Is a great way to keep people on your site. There is an upgraded version of ChatGPT called GPT-4. It is a version of ChatGPT that is available to people who have upgraded to the paid version of ChatGPT. So there are 2 tiers. There's the free version, which I use and love. Then there is a paid version that essentially has more sophisticated features compared to the original ChatGPT. And a subset of those upgraded users have access to this brand new version called GPT-4. GPT-4 is new. It's, I would say it's ChatGPT on steroids, meaning that it is learning about your previous inquiries and previous data points that you've put in, and it's remembering. So you're not having to start from scratch every single time you go to ChatGPT. It remembers your tone of voice. It remembers different details that you may have given it. And it's also supposed to be a lot more accurate. I have not seen a huge benefit right now to upgrading to ChatGPT-4, not ChatGPT-4. I'm sorry, to GPT-4. It's not something that I feel like we've benefited from that much. We do have the paid version, and I like it, but I think for so long I've been able to utilize the free version without any issues. So if you're still getting used to this and it's something that you want to explore, I wouldn't worry about upgrading. It's $20 a month. So the fee is nominal. It's not something that's going to break the bank. But for new businesses, or maybe you just want to play around with this more, like don't feel the need to upgrade just yet. See how much you're using it, see what capabilities are important to you that maybe are missing from the original ChatGPT, but I don't see a strong need to upgrade at this time. They are always adding new features. So even by the time you watch this, like there could be new features that maybe I'm not even aware of as I'm recording this. So explore that upgraded version and see if there's something that you feel like would increase your productivity or be able to create better content. Then of course it might be worth upgrading at some point. But for now, and for us, we're liking the free version and the paid version, and I recommend both wholeheartedly. So a little bit about how our agency is utilizing ChatGPT in our everyday process. So this is our blog writing SOP, meaning that this is exactly our process for writing blog posts on behalf of all of our clients. I mentioned this before, but first we start with keyword research to find those highly searched topics. This is done through a software called Ubersuggest. There are tons of keyword research softwares out there. This is just the one that we like, but we want to find keywords that are searched anywhere from 5,000 to 50,000 times per month, but that competition score, which is told to us by the software, is relatively low, meaning that, if I want to write a blog post on SEO, I can pretty much guarantee that my blog post is never going to rank because the amount of times people have written blog posts on SEO is unlimited. I would never be able to rank for that, but I know that there are small subsets of SEO that I can write on that are maybe not as explored. And, for example, maybe it's how to use ChatGPT to write a blog post. That's an example of how we find those really niche topics that we can write about that rank and bring traffic to our website, but they're not as competitive as a general term like SEO. So from there, we find those highly searched topics and we create our blog post calendar based on that research. So before the month begins, I give my clients, here's the content calendar that we're going to create these blog posts in the next month. And there's usually, 4 to 8 blog posts depending on their blog post schedule. So from there, I give my team the must-have details for each of those blog posts. Because I know my clients so well and I know their businesses so well, I am helping my team formulate what we should put into ChatGPT. I mentioned earlier that you want to have at least 3 unique details for each blog post. And so I help them formulate what those 3 are for each blog post based on what I know about my clients. And so if I have an event planning client, I know what she likes and what she doesn't like, or I know for my influencer client that she has 3 kids and they're this age. So she's not going to be writing about this. She's going to be writing about this. And I help my team formulate what we're going to input and what those 3 unique features are for each blog post. And that has really helped my team learn about my clients. And it has also helped ChatGPT give us the best response possible. So from there, our lead copywriter, she uses ChatGPT to generate the blog post, and then she edits it accordingly. She is also very aware of our clients' tone of voice, especially after writing on behalf of our clients for so long. So she's able to help me edit out any pieces that don't sound like them or that maybe, aren't correct, or, I would say we're less focused on incorrect information because it just doesn't come up that often, but we are doing a lot of edits to tone of voice and adding in points that are specific to the client. And then lastly, we also have a team member that uploads the post from there to the client's website. Then we're adding photos and we're fully optimizing the blog post with meta descriptions, with the right title, image, alt tags to make sure that it is fully optimized. And that is part of our standard SEO process that helps our clients rank. That's really what they come to us for is this process. And so we're making sure that's all done on behalf of SEO best practices. And then lastly, before the final blog post either gets published or goes to the client, I'm giving it a one-time review where I'm making sure that there are no lingering items from ChatGPT that maybe don't sound like my client. So there are multiple touch points to each blog post, but you can see how taking blog writing out of the equation has really sped up our process. And with that, I just wanted to open the floor for any questions. If you are not watching this live, please don't hesitate to email me or DM me with any questions that maybe I didn't touch on in this presentation, or if you have a specific question related to your own process or your business, please DM me at Stephanie Becker Digital, or you can email me at hello@stephaniebeckerdigital.com, and I would be happy to answer any questions. But I will open the floor for anybody who is watching this live to ask in the chat, and we can spend some time on questions. If SEO is on your to-do list for 2023, I wanted to share a few ways that I'm working with clients currently. I would say the first and most popular service that I'm doing right now are SEO VIP weeks. This is where you have me and my team dedicated to implementing SEO on your website in a 1-week project. So you can essentially have SEO done in a week. We go through this entire keyword research process and we actually implement everything on your website on your behalf so that you can check this off your to-do list and know that you are covered and trained in SEO in just 1 week. The work primarily falls on me and my team. So we meet at the beginning of the week to go over our goals, priorities, and our agenda. And then we meet at the end of the week to show you everything that we've accomplished. And this is a really fun and very popular service for good reason, because it's very effective. If you feel like you have a team who can implement, or you want to learn how to do SEO for yourself or on behalf of your clients, so if you're a service-based business yourself and you want to learn SEO School is perfect for you. This is my entire step-by-step process of implementing SEO for you or for your clients. And what I love about it is that it's a coaching and course hybrid. So you get access to the videos, the tutorials, the screen shares, the resources, but you also have me every other week. I open my calendar for an hour, and in small groups, I open the floor to ask any questions, to go over your blog post, your implementation. Anything that you specifically have questions with, you have access to me during office hours to help you or to review anything that you might need a second pair of eyes on. I love SEO School. I'm very passionate about it, and it is currently open for enrollment. I will leave the details for both of those services below. On July 1st, 2023, Google Analytics 4 launched, and that means that the current version of Google Analytics has been retired. I know a lot of people are nervous about this transition, and you might need a second pair of eyes to make sure that your GA4 setup is good to go, that all of your conversions that might have been set up in your previous analytics account have moved over, or maybe you need to do that manually. This is a great service for that. It's just a one-time project fee, and it really can give you peace of mind if you've been nervous about GA4. And I'm also there to answer any questions that you might have about where to find those metrics within the new version of Google Analytics. And I do also want to say that if you are interested in either the SEO VIP week or SEO School, both of those have been updated to align with best practices and everything that is involved with GA4. So if you're needing more help and more assistance than just a one-time setup, maybe SEO School or a VIP week is a better fit. If you're not sure which one of these is for you, go ahead and book a call, and together we can figure out where your goals are for SEO and which service best aligns with where you're taking your business next year. I am so grateful for your time. And if you have any questions, I am here, but I will see you in the next webinar. Bye.